Yo, what's really good, y'all? You already know it's your boy LaRon TV. Just back with another quick video. Just wanted to come chit chat in regards to some information and also a video that I seen earlier of Jaguar Wright addressing Foxy Brown, and she mentioned Kurupt Ricardo, and she also mentioned Jayz. So I'm gonna wait a few seconds, let a few people come in here. This will not be a long broadcast. I just want to get my thoughts out and just kind of brainstorm how I feel about what's going on with Jaguar, because I definitely think that Jaguar Wright has some true gems and some experiences that she speaks of. But a lot of the times, I think some of the things that she says, it comes more from a person who's been maybe watching like Wendy Williams, like, for example, right? If you think about some of the things that she said about like Tevin Campbell, and she's repeating things that she heard on the radio. So it's like she's just resurfacing old news, and it's making it make her seem like she's exclusive. Where in reality, this generation really just doesn't know about it, and she's just kind of like resurfacing it. So it's kind of like giving her clout, and it's giving her some sort of buzz as well. What's up, Princess, the writer? So yeah, I'm gonna wait for a few more people to come, and I'm gonna wait like another minute that I'm gonna get into it. But yeah, I definitely think that Jaguar Wright has some true experiences in this industry. But I wholeheartedly feel as though that she was somebody who didn't make it, and this is where she's kind of turned to get attention. And I don't know what her end goal is, like, you know what I'm saying? But what I will say is like, look at what Jaguar Wright is doing. I'm pretty sure that there's probably hundreds of Jaguar Wrights, like people who have different stories about the industry, and and stuff like that. But I found it to be completely unfair, and she plays a psychological game, because it's just the way that she tries to like lay the way that she tries to like lay the news out, as if she has some sort of firsthand um look at things. And what I notice about Jaguar is that she's completely biased to everybody who's from Philly, and I'm going to break that down too. She's very biased to people who was from Philly. So, today she was at wherever she was, and she was speaking. She started to speak about Foxy Brown. Notice this, and I'm just going to say this as well, right? She says things that, to me, if you're a logical person, it doesn't make sense. How, like, she said Mary J. Blige was on her page commenting under a fake page. I don't think Mary J. Blige would do that. I'm sorry, I don't think she would do that. She said that Megan Thee Stallion was sent from Mary J. Blige. I don't believe that. I don't think she reached out to her at all. I just think if anything, she's going to pay her dust, because that's going to make you grow. So I just feel like that's lies. And then she was like, Foxy, you better leave me alone, or some shit like that. Like, it just is not true. And then, so first and foremost, I noticed from when Jaguar was talking about Remy Ma and Cardi B, I can tell that she's already picked a side, because she said Remy Ma was supposed to be a star. She was supposed to, be the star from Love and Hip Hop. I took that and put it in the parking lot in my mind, because that already let me know what side she's on. She spoke positively about Little Kim, even though Little Kim is not a rapper. I don't care how many of y'all come on my videos talking about Kim. No, Biggie made Kim. Kim was not a lyricist. She was going to college to become a psychologist. She was not a rapper. She was not in the lyricist lounge like Foxy Brown, rapping, battling, and doing stuff like that. Foxy has footage of that. She has footage. If I was still making videos and editing or doing my videos, I would show you the footage of her in the lyricist lounge with a doobie rapping. All right. She has a history of rapping. And when she came into the game and she got signed with a deal, yes, Jay-Z did help her. And she addressed that on their third album. Yeah, he wrote some songs, but I blew him up the same. So, in regards to Jaguar, I just find it strange that somebody like her, who speaks about God and speaks about losing a child and stuff like that, and you speak about that, and then you talk shit about somebody talking about their hearing, and then you use the Remy Ma approach, where Remy Ma said in like the Sheether record, talking about Foxy losing her hearing from some sort of sexually transmitted disease. So it's like you're riding off of that to make yourself look like you're exclusive. You also mentioned in Ricardo's name instead of saying Kurupt the rapper to try to make it seem like you really know what you're talking about. When everybody from back in the day knows that Ricardo is Kurupt, the rapper that Foxy used to deal with. And what actually happened with their relationship going on a downward spiral is that Foxy was at the Survival of the Illest tour, and being that Foxy and DMX was on the list, I guess DMX is a New York nigga or whatever. Foxy was a hot female rapper back then, and I guess I don't know if Eve seen DMX showing Foxy some love or something, but she ran and told Kurupt. They're all from Philly. Notice when Jaguar Wright speaks about Eve, even though she said Eve is at the top, or whatever she said about Eve, right? Eve had a TV show that flopped. Eve had a clothing line that flopped. But you notice that being that she's from Philly, she's not gonna like really shed light on that because Eve is her sister. She remembers so many stories. It was almost like she wanted to expose Eve, but being that she has a little bit of respect for her, she didn't do that. Kurupt is from Philly too. So this is why Jaguar is saying Ricardo. She's trying to say this and look in the camera to make people think like, oh, she really knows what she's talking about. Foxy dated Kurupt. That was like the first industry dude that she was with. When they broke up and she went through that tumultuous breakup with Kurupt with the industry, and he did like a song called Calling Out Names and shit like that. After Eve, the rapper, go listen to the Wendy Williams. When you get off of this shit, go listen to the Foxy Brown on Wendy Williams, and she breaks down what happened. Eve was trying to get signed. She ran into Kurupt because they from Philly, and she said DMX is trying to get at your girl. Next thing they know, the whole shit like kind of like their relationship went on a downward spiral. She said she wanted to fight Eve. She was like, "You don't play with my relationship. I got a rock on my finger." Like, you know what I'm saying? So for Jaguar Wright to be so evil, to talk about, oh, you burnt the whole Philly, and just saying a whole bunch of crazy shit, talking about Foxy's hearing, and you done burnt up your whole reproductive system. You obviously don't know that she has a gorgeous baby girl. You obviously don't know that. I really, and it hit kind of home to me because yes, I do love Foxy Brown, but it's just the fact that this woman, you spewing out these stories. A lot of the things that she said is a lot of stuff that Wendy Williams said before. So it's like, what I really truthfully think is that Jaguar Wright has found a way to make it look as though that she has exclusive information because it gives her some sort of a clout and it propels her in a way. But if you think about it, it's not really putting money in her pocket. I just found that to be very evil. And now this is allegedly, right? Little Kim was very now you notice she don't speak on shit like this. Junior Mafia put out a DVD back in the days, like just talking about their truth or whatever, right? And Little Kim got mad at them and she wanted to sue them for it because all of the Junior Mafia members was on there saying that they was having sex with her after Biggie died. But you don't hear nobody saying nothing about that because she likes Little Kim. And I don't give a fuck which one of her fans hear this shit and they be like, "Oh, that's a no, it wasn't a lie." Junior Mafia released a DVD back in the day, like after the Notorious K.I.M. when she was doing funny shit. After she was with the dude World and all of that. They released a DVD and it was like their truth, and they said that they all was sleeping with her. So, but they're not gonna speak on that because Kim is their favorite girl and Foxy is a bitch like Nikki, so they don't fuck with her like that. Foxy is one of them people. You could be in a room with her and she's gonna give you that energy, like, "Yo, do your job. Like, don't speak to me." And I know that could be antisocial, but that's kind of her thing. Like, she don't really deal with people like that, and I know that about her. So Jaguar was probably in her vicinity, and she probably wasn't really getting no love or whatever the case may be. She's always been like that. She's kind of like a nigga in a sense. So I'm not saying that that's right. But I notice everybody who has an issue with Foxy Brown is because she shut they shit down. I remember Lady Luck had a situation with Foxy when she was like, "Yo, I seen Foxy backstage. She looked me dead in my face and kept walking straight." Like, you know what I'm saying? That's just her steez. Like, it's this industry. She's been in this industry since the age of 14, 15 years old. A lot of these people have hurt her in this industry. I don't know what she's been through, but I felt like that was really fucked up for Jaguar to try to like say like, "Oh, you burnt the whole Philly. You did this." And Ricardo, you saying his name and you saying that name in a sense, but you should have just said Kurupt, but you're saying Ricardo to make people feel like it's a person that like, oh, like who's Ricardo? Foxy ain't even respond to that shit. She ain't respond to that shit. Like, come on, man. What's up, Taylor? Right, Jaguar is only regurgitating stories that many people knew already, like stories with Clive Davis and Quincy Jones. Their sexuality was always questioned. Right. Like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't appreciate that. And then for you to be using God's name and then you're talking about somebody's disability. Look, I don't give a fuck what nobody say. Yes, and so I seen somebody comment on my old video. When did Kim ever talk about Foxy's hearing? She talked about her hearing a few times, and we seen her daughter come out with her eye all crooked. You know what I'm saying? God is real. Karma is real. You don't talk about somebody losing some sort of like imagine not be imagine not being able to see. Imagine not being able to smell. Imagine not being able to hear. That's a sense. And you talking about, oh, I'm gonna knock you this and I'm gonna do that. One thing I want to say, right? Even though I feel like it's great to hear different industry stories from somebody from behind the scenes, but Jaguar comes with a she has it just is she seems as though that she has malice, like, you know what I'm saying, like she has malice about it and she's upset because her career never took off. That's number one. And then it's just like you saying like, I don't know why Jay-Z did this, I don't know why Jay-Z picked her or whatever. It's almost like you jealous because it's like with Mary J. Blige and with the Mary J. Blige Jay-Z situation, you seemed a little jealous. Like, nah, I didn't know of a quite a few stories. I knew of a quite a few stories. Come on, everybody knew the situation with Puff Daddy. Wendy Williams been putting Puff Daddy on blast. The situation with Tevin Campbell. See, the thing is that you didn't grow up in the Tevin Campbell era. You wouldn't have known about that. But those are things that are already out there. So what she's doing is regurgitating old news, and it's making her look like she's that girl and she has the exclusive. So I believe that Jaguar Wright. Now, let me just say this. I can explain this from my point of view, but I've known, like, I don't know if any of you guys have ever been through something like this, but have you ever started cursing somebody out? Like, say you going through like an argument with one of your friends or whatever, right? And it's like, or a family, and you start cursing their ass out, and then you realize that, damn, I'm bugging. Like, you could either say, you know what, I'm sorry, but sometimes in your mind you be like, I'm already out here, I got to keep busting my gun, so you just keep going in and in and in. And I feel like Jaguar's got so much attention. She's gotten so much attention from doing these things now, where she's saying a lot of the things that people know already. Like, people know Foxy Brown is a, a loose cannon. Like, she would curse somebody out in a heartbeat. You know what I'm saying? Like, she fucked with Kurupt. Kurupt is from Philly. I'm noticing a trend with Jaguar. She shows respect to people who are from Philly, and Kurupt is from Philly. Eve is from Philly. Even though Eve flopped on a major scale musically, Eve had one of her last albums that really hit. She had a fucking song with her. I knew it was over for Eve then, and Foxy knew it too. When Eve had that song "Gangsta Lovin'" with Alicia Keys, that shit flopped, and Alicia Keys was in her prime then. How the fuck you catch a brick with Alicia Keys? Please catch the feed in stores. Yes, indeed. Best believe it's a classic. Bastards. Come on, man. She ain't like that shit. All them chicks from Philly. I think that's when Miss Jones was on the radio. Miss Jones used to be hating hard on Foxy, and I'm pretty sure Jaguar Wright was back in Philly during them days too. They hated Foxy Brown, especially the way that she used to talk about Philly on the radio. Because Philly used to try to start a lot of shit with the beef with Kim and Foxy, and Foxy got on the radio out there like, "Yo, like y'all from Philly, like we from Brooklyn, like that shit, y'all." She used to just sun them like that. So I think that a lot of that hate they used to try to turn Philly. I'm telling y'all, if y'all don't believe what I'm saying, go look up Kobe Cope interview or Wendy Williams Foxy Brown interview. She was over on that shit, popping mad shit. Like, she don't care. Like, people from Brooklyn, it's like I can relate it to people from New Orleans, people from Houston. They're very proud. They don't give a fuck. Like, it's like you talking about Dallas to somebody that's from Houston. They're very proud. People from Brooklyn, you talking about Philly, they like, Philly. You know what I'm saying? So I think that a lot of that disrespect that Foxy used to be on still lingers in her. And who gives a fuck if she? I'm not saying like on some domestic violence. Who gives a fuck? I don't know what corrupted the Foxy Brown, but come on, that's some old ass shit. Who gives a fuck? Like, oh, you stabbed him in the stomach or you did whatever. Like, come on, come on. Jaguar seems like she's hella bitter. I doubt Megan even knows who this woman is. Even if Mary, even if Mary does Lady Pond Dip, why does it matter? That's her personal business, right? It's like she wants to expose. And all I'm saying is at the end of the day, you talking about you lost your son and about your son, and then you talking about somebody losing their hearing and talking shit. Like, what did Foxy Brown do to you current day? Even if she was a bitch to you back in the day, what did she do for you to try to do that? And too bad that she's not even like Foxy will always be relevant and will always be a legend in her own right, but that story is not going to get traction like a Mary J. Blige. It's just not. I'm just choosing to speak on it because I just feel like that's foul. Like you're gonna try to kick somebody while they down, sweetheart. You better watch yourself because as the last time I seen you was in the damn drive-thru and your cards wasn't going through. So you keep fucking with and keep mentioning God and keep trying to attack people and do shit with malicious intent. It's gonna come back to you. That shit gonna come back to you. It's gonna come back. Real talk. I think it's good that she's exposing people. I don't think she's lying. I don't think she's telling the truth about everything either. Alicia Keys being a lesbian isn't new. Alicia dated a married man is nothing new. Back then in 2000, 2009, 10 era, always a hot topic. Paparazzi kept pictures. Now, what I'll say about that is, like I was saying yesterday, I do believe Alicia Keys has a little bit of lesbian tendencies. You know what I'm saying? But who is that to think? Somebody could think that I'm gay. Somebody could, whatever it is that you think, we have those thoughts. But like, imagine if somebody I mean, you can think that about a lot of people. A lot of people. So what I'm saying is, it's like, okay, you come out and you're saying Alicia Keys is a lesbian. So my thing is, if you're saying that Alicia Keys is a lesbian, then link her with a woman. Like, you know what I'm saying? And even at the end of the day, it's like, what does that really mean to Jaguar Wright? It's just like you trying to expose people on some Wendy Williams shit. And if you notice how she talked about Wendy Williams, she was like, she vet her people really well. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Right, right, Taylor. It's you can tell it's evident that that she doesn't like Foxy, and a lot, and you know what? That's the case for a lot of people. It's like almost like with the Nikki thing. Like Nikki is very protective of her space and the people who she communicates with and shit like that. And Foxy has always been a bitch. And I remember her and being in an interview. She was like, "People always say that I'm bitchy and I'm this and that." She was like, "And I don't care. I'm not changing." She said that shit in the Wendy Williams interview when they was in Philly. And I'm just telling you, back in the day when Foxy would be on radio, she made it clear that she didn't give a fuck about Philly like that. She just made it clear. And then she would get in the interview, of course, being politically correct, like, oh, they trying to turn Philly against us. So that's where a lot of that hate with Jaguar Wright stems from. It really does stem from that. And she talking about, oh, Ricardo. You trying to say, why just say corrupt? Say corrupt. I don't like that. Like, speak your truth about the shit that you experience. And you know what? I know that there has to be tens and hundreds of Jaguar rights in the industry. It got to be different people who have different stories, like you know what I'm saying, like about shit that happened in the industry. And I don't know, she didn't say that in the way where it was like, I don't know why Jay-Z fucked with her. Like it's just a jealousy thing. You mad that she made it? Come on. What is it? What's the hating really about? Like they say in Philly. What's the hating really about? Like, you know what I'm saying? Alicia Keys is dealing with witchcraft like Beyonce. Oh shit. All those ancient stories dug up to hurt people. Yeah. But then you like Little Kim, even though she's not her. This is how you can always tell somebody is counterfeit, right? I can get the Remy Ma story, but you like Cardi B, but Remy Ma is the one supposed to be blown up, but Cardi B don't write her lyrics. But then you want to talk about Foxy Brown not writing the lyrics. You see where you can see the bias in people? You can see the bias in people. You're happy that Cardi B blew up, but Remy Ma was supposed to be the star, even though Cardi B is a fucking culture vulture and she doesn't write lyrics, but you're happy for her? This is why I'm saying, like, take what people say with a grain of salt. With a grain of salt. Lil Kim, you love her, and it's like, but Biggie fucking made her. He wrote all of her lyrics for her. Yo, this year I was done when I heard that he had a reference track for drugs. I like drugs, even though I know she wasn't smart enough to write that. You know what I'm saying? I knew that he wrote it, but this year when I heard the reference track for drugs, I was done. Lil Kim fans is still commenting to me under that damn video with the reference track for drugs to today. I just got a comment under that shit. Like he wrote drugs too, but now that I think about it, she was not smart enough to write that. She was not smart enough to write that because if you was writing records like that back then at 17, 18 years old, you would have still been writing that shit on your second album. But you know, when you're a favorite girl in the game and you kiss ass and you oh baby and oops sweetie, that was the whole Little Kim approach. Like, you know what I'm saying? So Jaguar loves her. She probably showed her love when she seen her. Foxy is probably the type when she seen her, she like, who is this bitch? And she probably didn't speak to her. You know what I'm saying? That kind of rubs people the wrong way. So when they can dog you and they can talk shit about you, they're gonna do that. They're gonna do that. I know. I can tell. I know that Jaguar wishes that she was around Nikki or has some sort of thing. Cause she would love to say something. Cause she would have been said it. She would have been said it. But she protect her energy too much. Like she's not in the studio when Nikki records. It ain't nobody in the studio with her. Jaguar, she was just around. She. I'm not denying that she wasn't around. She wasn't around a lot of people. But I can tell that a lot of shit that she's saying is things that people can see. So if you're from back in our days and she mentions Ricardo, you got to be smart to, you know what I'm saying? You have to. I'm pretty sure when she said that today, people didn't even know who the fuck she was talking about. That's crazy for you to drag that shit up. That's crazy. So let's see. Much respect to King Fox. He reminds me of Nikki. Not gonna lie, however, Nikki is more subtle. Yeah, yeah. Foxy knows that too. She definitely damaged a lot of relationships and shit like that. But she was literally, like a Britney Spears. Like she really was just getting fame, and that shit can kind of go to your head. But I still feel like she was rooted. Right. She grew up. She can't say she had a perfect family, but her mother was a school teacher. I can tell by the way that she speaks in interviews. Like if you could go back and look at those interviews, like from Foxy and Kim, you can tell who was really the one that had the brain. Like, but unfortunately, Foxy came into the game when she was 14, 15 years old. So you got to think about that. Like I remember even when Foxy lost her hearing and like people was doing foul shit. Like I felt like that was a HIPAA breach. One of her psychologists, I don't know, they kind of leaked some information. Um, to I think the page six, and they was just saying like since her hearing loss that she was like going through it really bad because it was could you as you can imagine that it impacted her career. She was really saddened. So her I think her psychologist was like she was really saddened by the fact that she lost her hearing because it's impact. Could you imagine that shit is your livelihood? Her last record that she came out with, "Come Fly with Me," she lost her hearing around that time. She lost her hearing. That was supposed to be her biggest record, like on radio. They was playing that shit on Z100 in New York City. I remember when that shit came out, it was like number one on the countdown up in upstate New York for a minute. That record was gonna do numbers, and it was like she lost her hearing right at that time. I just feel like that's irresponsible. I ain't saying that Jaguar can't tell the truth, but don't try to paint a person in a way like, oh, you burnt the whole Philly, you did this. If Foxy Brown was doing all of that, that shit would have been out. Number one. Number two, you showing your bias against what with people from Philly like Eve. Eve is a flop. Eve had a flop show, and who cares if she on that show on fucking NBC or whatever network? And ain't nobody watch that shit. She's not influential. She ain't influential. Like Eve was really lucky. Let's keep it a stack. Let's keep it a bean. She was really lucky because she had a few records, but that's why she can't tour now. That's why she can't really move like that because yes, she might have played her cards right. She had shows. She had Fetish. Fetish flopped. It's like, come on. I understand being from Philly and being proud, but don't gas this shit. Don't gas it, because Eve was the one who had the damn bottle. What did then Eve have the video when she was like fucking herself with a bottle or something? When she was a stripper? Come on. They always paint black women as bitchy when they defend themselves. Foxy wouldn't have been called bitchy if she was fair skinned. Facts. I don't think she lied about Mary and Diddy. They dragged Nicki for stopping bags, which was a lie. Um, those who are real trash and her people need to be dragged too. Yeah, I do think Mary J. Blige blocked her. I do think that because people do that shit. They do that shit. And I think that shit about Diddy is true. I believe those things. But it's like I feel like Jaguar is when I was trying to say, like, have you ever like cursed somebody out or you arguing with somebody and you said some crazy shit and you like, fuck that, I'm all the way out there now and I'm about to just keep going in. I've done that before when I'm just arguing with somebody. I'm like, fuck that. I'm not apologizing. I'm already all the way out here. I'm about to just keep going. So I think that Jaguar has popped so much shit about people and that she's all the way out here now. And then it's just like, damn, I got to keep this shit going. So what I'm gonna say now, why you ain't talking about Junior Mafia exposing Little Kim saying that they all had sex with her? Why you ain't talking about that? Why you not? But you're not gonna talk about the people that you love. You ain't gonna do that. But you're gonna talk about the people who you hate. Yeah, it all makes sense. It all makes sense. Like it all makes sense. You talking about Miss J because Miss J don't like Foxy. You talking about Remy Ma? Remy Ma don't like Foxy. Like it's blatant. The hating is blatant. It's clear. Where did you hear this interview? It was on her YouTube. She was, I mean, not her YouTube. She don't got a YouTube, I don't think. It was on her Instagram. She was, it was this morning. She brung her up. She's like, Inga Marshawn, you better leave me alone. It's the same thing she's saying. Mary J. Blige is commenting on her page from a ghost page. Ain't Mary J. Blige ain't doing that shit. Trust me. Let me tell you the status of true celebrities and shit like that. If anything, they're gonna ignore your ass. Jill Scott was stupid as fuck for even responding to her. I don't even understand why Jill Scott did that. And that's how you could tell that maybe some of that shit she was saying was true in regards to her. I don't know why Jill Scott would have even done that. That shit was so idiotic. Like, if you say something about me, I'm not gonna play these cockamamie games going back and forth with you. I'm not doing that shit because what you feed grows, and I don't think people truly know the they don't know the control of their power. Like, you don't know, you really don't know that shit. Like, what you feed will fucking grow. Let that shit go. Like, Jill Scott really poured into her shit, posted talking about the lion doesn't hear the. Come on, ma, be quiet. Little Kim only got 5 mics in the source because she fucked Benzino. He said it on Drink Champs. Yeah, and her manager was boning the Jean, whatever her manager name is, was boning the source. And Remy Ma even spoke on that when her and Kim was beefing. She was talking mad shit about her. That's why I'm saying this whole game is phony. When Remy Ma came home from prison, Kim did not like Remy, and all she did was align with her just so that she would have her close to her before she got close to Nikki. That's what that was really about. That's what Kim did that for. She was like, shit, I can't have both of them going against me. Kim Remy dragged me before she went to prison, so I got to get on her side when she come home. I seen straight through that shit, straight through it. I was looking at this video on YouTube, and they played all this diss tracks from other female rappers in the '90s to 2000. Foxy held her own. She got ate up by Queen Latifah. Queen Latifah was another funny style one too, but then also Queen Latifah dissed Foxy Brown and Little Kim, but Foxy was the only one that came back. Foxy was the only one that came back. Did you hear Foxy Brown diss track? She went at Queen Latifah. There y'all bitches go straight yapping again with the TV show fucked up. Got you rapping again. Y'all bitches are scarred now. Got you rhyming from the heart now. Ain't been talking shit. The fuck you want to start now? Mad cause she pretty? Seen your fruity ass straight staring at my titties. Sending chicks to get me who me? Yo, she went in on her ass. She said, what the fuck is this? Ain't y'all bitches supposed to be CEOs and actresses? Whoa. No, to man, listen. Foxy came at Queen Latifah. That name calling track was whack compared to 10% Diss. No, it was Talk to Me. Yeah, because then she was saying, all y'all talk about is name brand or whatever. And she said, I'ma stay talking about Dick and Prada. Broke bitches. I said it. I'm addressing no drama. Yeah, Foxy was ready for Queen Latifah. Let's see, Laurent TV exactly. Jaguar was on some. I'm standing up for black people by exposing the bad seeds of our culture, but she likes Cardi, who's a known. Thank you, thank you. That's what I'm saying. So this is what like I'm one of those people where I can hear somebody talking, and it's like when you start saying shit that conflicts itself, like in in your approach, it'll make me just cancel out everything that you're saying. You're here for Cardi. I know she probably hates Nicki. She seemed like one of those women. She probably, I know she does. She just doesn't have anything to say about her, so she just hasn't brought her up yet. Barb's brought out the Eve pics when she was clutched her pearls over Nicki's paper bag cover. Wait, what happened? Barb's brought out the Eve pics when she clutched her pearls over Nicki's. Oh, right. And see, and Cardi is so insecure that when that shit happened and she wrote that record, see, people are thinking that what's that song that Nicki had? Hard White. See, Hard White is so hard that they don't know if that's really talking about Eve or Cardi. I ain't never, what she say? I ain't never have to strip to get the pole position. Hoes is dissing. See, but you think about it, that is a shot at Eve because Eve was a stripper hoe. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just noticing with Jaguar, she has except for some of the people who come from Philly, she has a an affinity for some of them. And it's like, she don't like Joe, she don't like Jill Scott, so that's off. for. I think it's because Jill's honestly has more of a career than her. And like, even that shit with the whole Tyler Perry and Janet Jackson, like I didn't even know about that, nor did I really care about it. But it just seems like she watches. You ever know somebody who just watches people closely and it's like they just have something negative to say? Speaking of things, name motherfucker scared to return. Oh yeah, I was reading something from a Foxy fan page. But yeah, you ever notice like when people they just watch people closely just to hate and just to say like evil shit about them. Like, what's the point? Like, I don't think people realize that same shit that you talk about people, you inviting that shit to come right back into your life, like being negative. You talking about somebody's hair and talking about you burnt your whole reproductive system up. Come on, ma. Come on. See, I see the fans talking shit back to Jaguar right on Instagram. Like, why y'all tagging her and talking to her? This is the type of shit that she likes. You supposed to pay somebody dust like that. You supposed to pay somebody dust like that. These people are crazy. And see what I'm saying? Like, look at the true logistics behind it. I'm looking at her Instagram page right now. She got 67,000 followers, but you're growing other people's platform way larger than yours. And it's like when I look at your videos, okay, you got 7,000 views on a video that you posted 9 hours ago. Now, you might look at my video and don't think that I might not have those views, but when a person has that many followers, that view count is not really impressive. It's not really impressive. And that really means that you don't really have a reach like that, or Instagram is shadow banning this page. So that's what it really is. Like, you know what I'm saying? I just didn't appreciate that. I ain't appreciate that. Talk the real shit, expose the devils in the game. Like, and like let's just even say if Foxy Brown burnt the whole Philly, like what business of that is yours? The sensitive story within it was that she was probably friends with Ricardo, Kurupt, the rapper. And she probably just felt the type of way because she did what she did to him. They was in a relationship. And they probably had some sort of domestic situation. Who knows what Kurupt did to her? But to mention like, oh, you stabbed him in front of his mother, and then why you ain't say that yesterday then? Why you ain't say she burnt the whole Philly yesterday? Because then you was like, oh, you're crazy. Everybody know Foxy Brown is crazy. Junior Mafia said that. No wonder why I heard the guys in my neighborhood saying Kim gave her box to everyone. Yeah, they did it. Junior Mafia. I don't know if y'all can look. Try to see if you can find the Junior Mafia DVD and look up. Actually, Google these keywords when you get off too. Little Kim sues Junior Mafia. Actually, let me see if I can find it on my Android. Let's see. Yep, she tried to sue them over this DVD. Let me put that in Google right now. Lil Kim Junior Mafia lawsuit. Hmm. Okay, let me see. See? Yep. Lil Kim hits Lil C's with a $6 million lawsuit. Convicted hip hop diva suing witness over Junior Mafia DVD. See, y'all be thinking that I be lying, but then you got Jaguar Wright sitting up here, Lil Kim'd out, and not speaking on. See, and she did that to them because she knows C's and them don't got money like how she had back in the day. This article was written on July 19th of 2005, 2 months after she's expected to begin serving a year-long sentence. She was dealt less than 2 weeks ago. Little Kim filed a $6 million civil lawsuit against one of the two men who provided wounding testimony that helped secure her conviction of federal perjury and conspiracy charges. Let's see. Let me just get to the meat potato. See, this is what she did. According to the Associated Press, the suit filed Monday accuses James Losey's Lloyd, the leader of Kim's former Brooklyn, New York clique Junior Mafia, of using the Queen Bee's name and likeness to promote the forthcoming DVD, The Chronicles of Junior Mafia Part 3, Reloaded, tentatively scheduled for release later this month. Kim split from the group back in 2001. Um, the suit claims that Kim never granted C's permission to exploit her name, her image for the DVD production, doing so as filmers suggest that she has constitutes false advertising and false endorsement. Um, see, Kim also alleges that C's publicly announced plans to include in-depth interviews with him and other mafia members in the DVD package, explaining their involvement in the hip hop divas trial. Yep. So, yeah, she wanted to block that DVD. I think it did come out though. But yeah, they was in the DVD saying that they all had sex with her. But you don't get people talking about that because Little Kim is their sweetheart. She's their sweetheart. So they ain't gonna do that. People would love to have this on Nikki and be like, "Oh, she fucked the whole crew." If Nikki had that, they would have been put that shit out. You see what I'm saying? Like, but you got to think about the Hollywood sweethearts. They protect them. Lil Kim was a Hollywood sweetheart. She was propped up just like Cardi on Atlantic Records, and I think that's why she probably, Lil Kim was probably delusional. That's why she was playing Cardi so close in the beginning because she was like, maybe if I get on her good side, then I can get with Atlantic again. You thought wrong. You really thought wrong. But yeah, I just wanted to get up here and say that. Let's see. Exactly wrong. That's when I knew Kim wasn't a real rapper. Oh, you heard that drugs? You heard the drugs reference track? Piss poor. It's like these artists is drug up. Like she did not. Lil Kim was created, and then it's like that's why I hate hearing her talk about her style and how this and that. Your style was created by Misa Hilton Brem, and she mimicked that style from other people who she seen it from. Like all they really did was steal from the white girls from the 80s. Like your style was created by a team, like not by you. So it's like, come on, everybody has a stylist. Everybody, some people when they first come up, they have stylists, and then they follow trends, or they might go back and dig and do some vintage shit. But what you were doing was not really new under the sun. It wasn't anything new about it. iPhone 12 finally set the date for its latest release. See, I need to get a new phone. I don't know how many of y'all is gonna get the new iPhone, but I think I'm just gonna end up buying the 11. I just want to buy it straight out. Why I can, because I don't want to get a plan and have to pay over $100 a month. I just want to get the phone, and then I could just pay my regular $60 phone bill every month and just be good money. Let's see. She just has a bias towards her own people. I take her in doses, but it's still entertaining. I don't take shit seriously. Yeah. I mean, do you, but like even like let's dissect this, right? It's 1 o'clock a.m in Texas, so I'm about to get off of here, but let's just think about this, right? You you okay, those situations that she had with like Talib Kweli and stuff like that, that's exclusive. What was the purpose of bringing up Babyface? What was the purpose of bringing up Tevin Campbell? So it's like, let's say that Tevin Campbell was really like selling his body or whatever the case may be, and you're like, okay, let's be realistic. We have people like Mariah Carey, right? Who she was at the height of her career, and right now she's not popular. She's not popular right now, right? But she's still Mariah Carey. What was the point? You said that shit about Tevin Campbell to make him feel bad. So whatever demons that he did live through, or whatever the case may be, you just resurfaced that shit. You didn't say anything that people didn't know about. People knew that he had, um, done prostitution or whatever the case may be. You know that Power 99 aired that story. Wendy Williams talked about it, everybody, right? You talked about that story like it was something exclusive the way that you presented it. And then when he confronted you about it, you made it seem like you brung it up and was like, oh, the news media out they're the ones who came. But when you presented it, you didn't make it seem like that. You wanted it to make it appear as though that you had some information. And this is what I'm saying, that I feel like Jaguar is so far out there that she would just say anything now. You got to think about it. What else is what is she going to say next? What is she going to say next? You got to think about that. What is she going to say next? What? What's up, man? Was really good. So that's just my thing. She's gonna run dry now, and it's like you putting all this negative energy out there, and that's why I was saying like you got to look at what she's doing. Yeah, she might have did those couple of interviews and fucked with Storm and Rowe, and now she's talking about, oh, you want to we got to take this on the road. I I could be wrong by feeling it because it's not really my saying it, but it's because it's not really my place. But I don't think he really want to be affiliated with her like that, especially with that negative shit that you putting out. I don't look at and I don't think that Storm is a negative person. And he probably wouldn't want to be affiliated with that on the road. You know how many people might be even looking at her, be like, "Oh, she's gonna be here on this date when the world does open back up in that facet." I don't think he want to be associated with her like that. You inviting the wrong type of energy in your life, like with just doing shit like that. If she was talking shit about Tevin Campbell, like me personally, if I would have brung that story, I'm like, I would have been like, yo, do y'all remember that story when they said Tevin Campbell, they reported on it. I wouldn't have made it seem like it don't make no sense why he had to prostitute his body. And don't be jaded. Jaguar Wright is very smart. Like she you have to be smart to be able to survive in this game. She's smart. She knows how to say something for the shock value. She knows. She knows. So if I'm thinking that you even gonna try to sue me, I wouldn't even presented the story like that from jump. I would have just been like, yo, like you heard about him prostituting, and you heard about he got arrested, whatever, right? I wouldn't have made it seem like I had some exclusive drop because that's not what it is. That's all I'm saying. Kim wasn't the first to rock color hair back in the 80s. Madonna, Cher, and Cyndi Lauper. Yeah, the women that she stole from. People from Brooklyn get very sensitive about Little Kim, but they act like, I don't know. And Daddy, what's that guy name who found them? Daddy Biggs. He's the one exposed it. He was the one who was saying like Little Kim is not even from Brooklyn. But that's a whole nother debacle. He's saying Little Kim is not even from Brooklyn, that he knew her to be from the Bronx. And let me tell y'all something, just to touch on that. When Daddy when that interview came out and surfaced, 2019 was the first year that I ever heard Little Kim acknowledge that she was from the Bronx. That was the first year that I ever heard her acknowledge that she was from the Bronx. As somebody who loves hip hop and has followed it and heard her scream this Brooklyn, Brooklyn, Brooklyn shit, and now it makes sense to me why I remember when Foxy Brown used to be in interviews or doing freestyles, and she'd be like, "And for real, girls ain't even really from Brooklyn." And I used to be like, "She's talking about Little Kim." But I never had the fact on it. And then I will remember, nope, I can't say that because that's a personal conversation. But yeah, yep, I remember that. Damn sure would have. I can just say this. Foxy told me in the DM, she was just like, "Yo, if I lied about being from Brooklyn, they would drag me." Sh- and basically that is true because they give Foxy a hard time, and for Kim, since she's a sweetheart, they let her get away with shit. Why is it that we just now found out in 2019 that she lived in the Bronx, but you the Brooklyn, you Brooklyn, come on. She's BK Tidal Wave, and I love her too. But Jaguar Wright is basically the 2000, and she's the industry BK Tidal Wave. But tell me, what exactly did Fox say about this broad? She didn't say anything. She used her name, so she was basically in the chat, just like how you just brung Foxy up right now. And she said, Inga Marchand. People love to use Foxy as a target. They just love to do that shit because she's a bitch. She don't give a fuck, and she just wanted to do that. And her connection to be able to talk about her is that she knew Ricardo, Kurupt, so that's why she did it. You know what I'm saying? Now that unless she could get all of these Philly niggas together to say she burnt all of them and have the medical records and do that shit, that's defamation of character. True say. But let's address this too. Jaguar Wright, she knows that if somebody tries to sue her, they ain't gonna get nothing. They ain't gonna get nothing. And it's gonna be more publicity. Let me tell you, I think that there's a kooky thing in some people's mind that they probably would want to be sued because it's gonna give them some sort of fame or just the thought of going to court and it's like it's real to them. Like what I'm saying? I think it gets real to some people like like that. I know it might sound crazy, but think about it. If Mary J. Blige was to sue Jaguar right now, what would she get from her? If Tevin Campbell was to sue Jaguar right now, let's be honest. Even if like right now, say Foxy sues her and just be like, you said this and that, and she sues her and she wins a 2 million civil suit or whatever, right? When's she gonna get the money? How's she gonna get the money? It's pointless, and Jaguar knows that. She knows that. No, regardless of what she says. And if you notice, I'm pretty sure she could say a lot of things about Jay-Z. I'm pretty sure she could, because if she could say, I don't know why Jay-Z fucked with her or whatever the case may be, she won't say that he fucked with Foxy on an intimate level. And I can say as a fan that I do think something happened on that level. But she won't say it because she's scared of Jay-Z, because she know that he will make shit happen. He will make shit happen. So she treads lightly when she talk about that man. You notice how she was like, "Oh, I like Cat Williams better." She want to say something about Jay Z. She do, but she knows better. She knows better. I heard she's from the BX too. Yeah, Kim is from the Bronx. How is Foxy making coins these days? I believe that she not only does she, you get your royalties or whatever, but Foxy said very early on in her interviews with Wendy Williams, she said, "Yo, if I didn't make my investments in certain things like properties, like she owns a few brownstones in Brooklyn, and if you know anything about owning like those homes in Brooklyn or whatever, that rent is not cheap. That's for one. She owns a few properties, and I'm pretty sure that she I'm pretty sure she likes, she likes designer and all of that shit. But I know that she has money stashed, and I'm pretty sure that she is okay. Like, I'm not saying that she's at the top of her game, like, or whatever, like how she probably was at the height of her career, but I think that she's okay. I think she is. Yeah. So let's see, Professor Griff from Brooklyn, from Public Enemy exposed Diddy, Quincy Jones, and Tevin. So Jaguar exposing their tea is nothing new. That's been dinner table gossip for years. That's what I'm saying. But it's making her look exclusive. You know what I'm saying? It's all about what you present. Like I said, if she would have presented that story about Tevin Campbell and would have said it in this type of way, that's not online defamation. She's right. It's just the way that she's saying it. She's like, you should not, with a beautiful voice like that, you shouldn't have to prostitute yourself. No, but the proper way to say it, if you cared about somebody's feelings, is you like, you know what? Tevin Campbell has one of the most beautiful voices. I just didn't understand when he got arrested. Did you hear about that? You remember that? Like when he got arrested, and then it would have made the story go a whole lot differently. But if you're trying to present it in a way where it's exclusive news, and it's like, oh shit, Tevin Campbell prostituted, because a lot of people who forgot about it for a moment, they probably was just like, or forgot about it or didn't know about it if they looked at it as it was exclusive. And a lot of people who probably watch videos like that, unless you're old school, you don't even know who Tevin Campbell is. Real talk. Yeah, that's true. She's a target. Like, she's a target, I'm telling you. Like, I remember back in the days, you remember when Foxy used to always be in the newspapers for doing something crazy or whatever. She even spoke on it. She was like, I realized that I'm a target. She said, people know that I'm gonna react. They know that shit. So it's like, people, it got to a point where people would see her in public and they would try to do some shit like to make her react. Like the girl that was in her area where her mother lives at, like she tried to start some shit and then she ended up throwing the blackberry at her or some shit. It's like people do things to you. And she was just like, I don't understand why people treat me like that. And I'm always pleasant and I'm always like, just nice to people. But when people kind of know you spaz, it's kind of like Azealia Banks. It's like it's like they tempt her. They tempt her to do shit like that. That's what I think. There's nothing wrong with the Bronx, but if you lying about where you from, that's where the issue lies. That's what I'm saying. So we ended up just talking about that because we was talking about Jaguar Wright, having so much to say about Foxy. Like a lot of the women in the industry, they don't like her. Like it'd be like, oh, she's a bitch, she's this, she's that, whatever. Well, you know what I noticed? A lot of girls, right? And this is just me being a man and having a lot of women as friends and having women from different backgrounds as friends, right? I noticed there's something about women who have brothers, right? Women who grow up and just having brothers, they're a little bit more rougher around the edges, and sometimes, they could be perceived as being bitches, but they're a little less sensitive than like the average like woman. I don't know if this sounds right, but I'm friends with all types of women who come from different families and shit like that. But I know this is something, with being friends with women who has brothers and shit. They're just, their approach is different. They not as like sensitive and just shit like that. I don't know. That's just my observation. I don't know if any of y'all ever looked at it like that. Do any of you guys know any women who grew up with just brothers and like they just a little more rougher around the edges and mm so I think Foxy is like that because she kind of learned from being around guys like, she's definitely, um I definitely think she's a good person, but I just think she can be a little bitchy. But yeah, I'm about to hop off of here though. I just wanted to say I just felt like that was wrong for Jaguar to try to make just to try to like say some shit wrong about Foxy and be like, oh, you burnt the whole Philly and act, you stabbed Ricardo. Okay, I could live with that, but don't be trying to say some shit about somebody and you burnt up your whole reproductive system and you're deaf and like where is in any of that you're saying is loving and then the next breath you mentioning God. That don't even make sense. So I'm just saying what I see in hers. I see mental illness, and I see opportunity that she needs to get that shit together. Because if you doing shit like that, that has to be drained into her husband. Like at first, I was just like, damn, he's cool. He just sit back and let her do her thing and just let her pop her shit. But it's like at some point, if I see my mate going through some shit like that and just doing spiraling, you're spiraling out of control. Like to me, oh shit. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Little Kim used to be Biggie's mule. Biggie used to have Kim on drug runs. Biggie didn't love Kim. He never claimed her like that. Right. Yep. That's why he got Faith. Like, you know what I'm saying? I felt like Faith was more up the speed that his mother would have respected. I need to update my app with the damn tracking information for my packages I sent off today. I'm gonna do that before I go to bed. Why do people think Little Kim is innocent? For years, they've acted like she's a sensitive angel because when she shows up in interviews, she's all baby, hi baby, hi baby. That's how she is. Like, yo, I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna get off. And this is how I know this shit is real. People used to say like, "Yo," I remember Wendy Williams said this, and she wasn't the only person. Doug Banks said it when Foxy came into the interview. They was like, "Yo, I don't know what it was, but he said just your presence when you walked in the room, I just felt like I needed security or some shit." It's just like she just had that unexpected type of aura. I remember this guy was in an interview and he was like, when she was that young though, he was just like, she came in this room and she caused so much of an uproar. He was like, I will never support her. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I just feel like Foxy went through a lot of things with being so young in the industry and being in these rooms with these either prestigious people or these upper echelon people. And then if somebody does something to you, at the end of the day, she's still from Brooklyn, even though she's not from the hood of Brooklyn. She's from Park Slope. So, she's seen different things in her life too. She's educated. But it's just like when you step into different rooms and then you're at such a young age, and then you have these men suppressing you, like it's just different. So yeah, she went through her ups and downs in the industry, and she did a lot of course correction too in her, when she got older. But she did go through her spazzing out and lashing out in the industry. Shit, she did. Lil Kim saw her style from Millie Jackson and H Hoes with Attitude. Yo, then you notice she mentioned them before too, Millie. She mentioned them before, so I can definitely see that. She mentioned that in an interview. Yeah, but yeah, I'm about to get off of this shit though, y'all. It's late. It's late out here in Houston, and I gotta get up early in the morning. So I'm gonna holler at y'all later. Let's see. Okay. Okay. No. Yeah. All right. I'm about to hop off here. I hope y'all have a blessed evening. I might get on here tomorrow, depending on what's going on. But I hope y'all have a blessed evening. Please subscribe to the channel if you do enjoy the commentary. And I'm gonna holla at y'all later. One.